Hey everyone, Matt here with Duke's Models, and welcome to the final installment of the Kinetic Hornet build review. This time out, it's all about the stores. Alright, let's kick this off with the AMRAAMs. Now the Kinetic kit supplies two different kinds, the AIM-120B and the AIM-120C. I decided to do one of each just for kicks. Honestly, I'm not that big a fan of the AMRAAMs as presented in the kit, and I would probably opt for resin ones from Eduard instead, but you know, this is all about sticking with what's in the kit. The texture on there's a weird sort of rough texture on the missiles that isn't bad, but compared to the standards out there nowadays, it seems a little bit rough. But there we have it. AMRAAMs built. Now we've got a bunch of other stuff too. We've got, an AIM-9L and an AIM-9X GBU-38 JDAMs here. Also got a couple GBU-12s and a GBU-87 sticking around. I think it's an 87. It's a cluster bomb. Okay, so here we're installing the little mounts for the fuselage rails here for the AMRAAMs. I feel like these are meant for the AIM-7s, but all the Hornets depicted in the marking sheet are new, and there is no guidance given whatsoever to mounting the AMRAAMs to anything. So we're going to use these and see how it goes. Again, a little bit of Tamiya extra thin, place them, poke them into the right position, and voila. So while those set, we're going to put the sidewinders on their wingtip launchers. This is the AIM-9L. I would have to say the sidewinders are probably the best weapons in the Kinetic kit. Given the penchant for the Eduard ones to warp in the packaging, I might recommend sticking with these, but it's a judgment call. So here's the AIM-9X going on the other side. These fit very nicely, very easily. Now let's get to these AMRAAMs. These prove to be an absolute bitch to fit. There is no real positive location of any kind anywhere on here. It's just mind-boggling. So, as you can see, you put it in there and it just starts to fall off immediately. So we're going to reinforce this with extra thin. Still though, having to slop this much crap onto the fuselage, obviously you're putting weapons on after you've painted and detailed and everything. Having to slop that much glue around is just not ideal. I would definitely look at investigating some other mounting options for the AMRAAMs when the time comes. Thankfully, the Centerline tank goes on nice and easy. Just a couple drops of super glue, fit it in place, hold it for a couple seconds until it sets up, and everybody's happy. So here we've got the GBU-38 getting ready to go on the vertical rack. These also fit nicely. No issues with the holes, really. A few dabs of glue. Now the GBU-12s, these were a little bit more troublesome. The holes in these are mounted at this really weird angle. They're not straight up and down holes. They kind of go into the side, so you have to drill them out. And even then, the back post on the sway braces was too long, so I trimmed it. And now these fit better. So go back to the super glue, install, and everybody's happy. With a little bit of pressure, of course. Again, the GBU-12 is something I would definitely go with resin for. Here's the GBU-87. So I think it's an 87. I only glanced at the instructions of this, but it's a larger cluster bomb looking thing. and the second GBU 38 JDAM. You see these fit in there, very easily again. The GBU 38s, they're not bad, but again, there's resin out there that's better detailed, and I would just go for that if I had my druthers. But there is the weaponry. It aside from the AMRAAMs, everything goes on without really too much of a hassle. Those AMRAAMs are a bitch, though. So to finish things off, we've got the crew ladder, which is a nice fiddly assembly to get together. But once you get it together, it holds its own. Just be sure to let the cement set long enough for the ladder to hold together. A few dabs of extra thin, and the ladder goes in. It doesn't locate super well, so you kind of have to hold it. But again, with the extra thin, once it cures, and you're good to go. And with that, the Hornet is done. So what did I make of this kit? Well, stick around for the wrap-up conclusion piece of this, where I'll be looking at the pros and cons and my final thoughts on how Kinetic is done with their A-18C.